When we think about confidence, it is essential to first understand its true definition. Confidence is not impulsive emotion or recklessness. It is simply trust. Trust in someone's abilities or qualities. Confidence stems from the belief that someone, including ourselves, has the capability or the necessary qualities to perform something well. But the key question is, how do we know if someone possesses those abilities or qualities? The answer is very clear. Through action. We assess and build trust based on what has been done, not merely on words or expectations. Therefore, the only way to build belief in someone's abilities, including our own, is to take action. Concrete, consistent action is the foundation that builds true and lasting confidence. There's a common belief that we need a lot of confidence before we can take bold action. But I believe that's not true. In fact, it's action that builds confidence, not the other way around. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start taking action. And when that action is taken consistently over time, we call that representatives of action. Like training repetitions, repeated daily. It's these representatives that nurture and grow confidence. The more you act, the more comfortable you become with challenge. The more you improve, the more you grow. And with that growth, your confidence increases naturally. So remember, bold action doesn't require confidence. But action is the path to building real, lasting confidence. I am someone who always wants to learn and grow. No matter how much success I've had, no matter how many challenges I've faced, no matter how long I've been in a role or at a company, I still want to get better every single day. Because growth is a journey with no final destination. We don't stop evolving just because we've reached a milestone. We don't stop learning simply because we've gained experience or age. The desire to keep learning is the fire that keeps us moving forward. And I believe that if you're here today, it means you carry that same fire within you. Whether in moments of success or struggle, whether you're at the top of your game or just beginning, always maintain a mindset of curiosity, a spirit of progress, and a heart committed to never-ending growth. We often think that taking action in difficult times is a sign of courage. And that's true. When everything is falling apart, when options are limited, rising up and taking action feels almost instinctive. But there's a greater challenge. Taking action when everything seems just fine. When things are stable. When the numbers look good. When there's no crisis forcing change. That's when complacency quietly creeps in. And that's the real danger. We start to lose urgency. We stop pushing boundaries. We settle into comfort. Fighting complacency is a skill we all need, as leaders, as individuals, as people committed to personal growth. Don't wait for a breakdown to drive breakthrough. Take bold action, even when nothing is pushing you to do it. Because it's in those proactive, uncomfortable steps, taken in times of stability, that we unlock our next level of growth and confidence. One of the most important lessons I've ever learned about taking action came from my mother, when I was just 9 years old. One day, she came to me and said, "That's it. I'm done. We are leaving." What she meant was, we were leaving my father. My father was, and still is in many ways, a good man. But at that time, he was an alcoholic, a terrible husband and an absent father. When my mother said those words, I didn't cry, and I didn't get upset. I simply thought, what took you so long? Finally, because I knew, even at that age, some actions aren't just for ourselves. Others are silently waiting for us to take that step. And my mother did. With no roadmap, no coach, no support system. Just courage and conviction. She fed us on a shoestring budget. Worked multiple jobs for years. And day after day, I witnessed her actions. A woman without resources. Acting her way into a new life. That story of my mother planted a powerful belief in me. Even small actions have the power to change everything. And because of her, I began building a habit. A daily rhythm of action. Small things at first. Which eventually became my way of living, leading. And growing as a person. Growing up in difficult circumstances, I started working at a very young age. At 15, I worked in malls. At 17, I was a restaurant hostess. At 18, a waitress. And by 19, I began my leadership journey. Opening franchise locations around the world. By the age of 26, I had become an executive. In a large company. I was fortunate to have incredible supervisors and managers. Who guided me through my work and helped me grow professionally. But I realized something important. I was missing an outside perspective. The kind of feedback and challenges that could stretch me beyond my day-to-day responsibilities. So I began to build a habit. Coaching myself. I started asking myself questions like, if someone better than me had my role, what would they do? What can I learn from those I admire? What do I need to change to become better? And from that mindset, I gradually developed self-coaching techniques. Tools that would become my compass. For both personal growth and career development. One of the most important rules I apply in both my work and life is the hot shot rule. This rule is very simple. Imagine someone you admire is taking your role. It could be someone famous in your field, a leader you respect. Or someone who you believe could do everything better than you. When you imagine that person in your role, ask yourself, what would they do differently to improve the current situation? Once the answer comes to you, take action within 24 hours. Because if you wait too long, procrastination will cause you to miss the opportunity. And the important next step is, inform your team about the actions you've taken. Tell them that you could have done something differently. Or that you've realized a better approach and have already begun to implement it. This rule not only helps you break through in your work, but also builds a habit of proactively taking action and continuously improving. The hot shot rule is not just theory. It can be applied directly in real-life situations to drive action and improve outcomes. One example is meeting with a partner to resolve an issue. If you notice an issue in a professional relationship, don't just sit back and wait for things to resolve on their own. Imagine someone you admire is in your position. They wouldn't hesitate. They would take the initiative to meet with the partner and resolve the issue immediately. And that's exactly what you need to do. Don't let things drag on. Another example is apologizing or thanking important people. We often forget to show gratitude or offer apologies when necessary. However, an exceptional leader wouldn't let these opportunities slip by. If you know you need to apologize to someone for a mistake, or thank someone for their support, take action immediately. Don't let hesitation cause distance in the relationship. There are also projects that, when started, seem exciting, but over time, they no longer make sense. Don't keep projects that no longer serve you. Stop them immediately. The person you admire wouldn't let irrelevant projects consume their time and resources. All these actions aim to create one habit. Take immediate action. When you consistently apply the hot shot rule, you'll develop a strong habit that propels you forward and continuously improves your results. To truly make the hot shot rule a powerful habit, apply it regularly every week. For example, I practice this rule every Sunday at 1 p.m. It's a quiet time when I can focus on my work without distractions. No matter how busy life gets, I always take a minute to visualize my role. Imagine someone I admire in that position. And ask, what would they do differently to improve the situation? Then, I take action immediately and inform my team about what I've done. In just 1 year, 52 improvement actions can lead to significant changes. Not only will this help you grow individually, but it will also create positive changes for the whole team. When you practice this rule every week, you're not just improving yourself, you're also building a culture of action and transparency within your team. People will see that you're always proactive and willing to improve things, and they will learn and follow your example. This will drive continuous development in both the team and the organization. Consistent action is the key to creating change and continuous growth. If you want to achieve significant results, you cannot just rely on isolated actions or short-term efforts. It's the persistence and continuous action that will ultimately lead to great progress. When you practice the hot shot rule every week, you're actually building a powerful habit. A habit of consistent action helps you improve each day and brings you closer to your goals. This doesn't only change you, but it also has a deep impact on your team and organization. Certainly, there will be times when you face difficulties, feel a lack of motivation, or doubt your decisions. But during those moments, consistent action is the critical factor that helps you overcome doubt and keep moving forward. Remember, every action you take, no matter how small, makes a difference. That action may open up new opportunities, help you learn from mistakes, and most importantly, it builds your confidence. With each small action, you are laying a solid foundation for long-term growth and success. One of the most important factors in leadership is transparency and the ability to show vulnerability. This might come as a surprise, but in reality, transparency and the ability to open up about your weaknesses are some of the strongest qualities a leader can possess. When you share your challenges, imperfections, or even your failures with your team, you are showing authenticity and trustworthiness. This builds trust and creates an environment where people feel comfortable to be themselves and openly share the difficulties or issues they are facing. Vulnerability does not mean weakness. In fact, it is a sign of strength. It shows that you are confident in your ability to overcome challenges, while also providing an opportunity for others to learn from your mistakes. Transparency and vulnerability help you build a strong team where everyone supports each other and grows together. This is especially important in difficult times, when important decisions and risky steps need to be taken. If you consistently maintain transparency and show vulnerability in an honest way, you will earn the support and trust of your team. They will not only work for you but also for the shared goals of the organization. In conclusion, we all understand that action is the determining factor for growth and building confidence. No matter where you are in life, whether you're facing challenges or enjoying moments of success, action is the way forward. We can talk a lot about theory, goals, and plans, but ultimately, it is action that brings us closer to our destination. By taking purposeful actions, you not only learn from your mistakes, but also create a continuous progression. Every action, no matter how small, contributes to self-development and builds confidence. Remember, no action is ever meaningless. Every step, every decision, every effort you make brings you closer to your goals. With a habit of consistent action, like the hot shot rule, you will not only improve yourself, but also have a positive impact on your team and organization. Finally, always act with authenticity, transparency, and confidence, because that is how we build sustainable growth and true self-confidence. Thank you for listening, and let's start taking action today.